Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the young Beavz and Tejas Show. Right back at you. It's been a little minute, but we are back, and we just had to take care of our little things here and there, and we're looking forward to bringing you new episodes, and we're still going to be talking to business owners. We're going to be talking to people that have been in the struggle and have gotten over it. We're going to be talking to entertainers. We're looking forward to talking to everybody, man, and just having a good time. And so, what you got to say?
Pretty much, I want to say, hopefully everybody had a good year, and hopefully Valentine's didn't break nobody's heart or get anybody caught up. Like Tommy Tejas said, we had to take a little quick break just to get everything situated. Just pretty much get back to, we just went back to the drawing board and just showing everybody, just pretty much giving everybody a platform. That's what we want to do. Just give our people a platform, a voice. It's pretty much,
Yeah.
And we're not looking for like the stars, and the stars gonna come. We're looking for the average Joe. The average guy. And we want to focus on anybody's highlights. Because to somebody being the first person that graduates of college, that could be the highlight of their life.
Yeah.
And we want to emphasize on the achievements that people have made, and talk about the struggles and the hard times that get them, because I believe, I'm a strong believer of, a person is defined by their character, character meaning you're that person when somebody is looking and when somebody's not looking,
Right.
So this is gonna be our moment to give those people light, and just give the people a voice, and just bring something good to the table. That's what I'm saying. Whatever we're gonna bring to the table, it's gonna be something good. And I like the way the direction that the show's going, and I hope everybody, all our viewers, there too.
And we've come together with CYA Entertainment. We're sewing it up into one full circle.
Yep.
And I hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
Our first guest. You guys know who he is. It's Big D, and we want
Good
to,
homie.
and we want to find out where he comes from, what he's been through, and what he's doing now. So, all right. So, Big D.
Get under hotcakes.
All right. So, Big D.
How's it going, guys? Let me put this on private.
Thank you for
Appreciate
down.
Pleasure to have you. Good.
Right next to them.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We just had a little handball fun.
Sweating like crazy. Winded.
Some of us.
Yeah, I am. I'm bad.
I wasn't running.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a handball player, but I guess
Back in the days, and you feel young, you think you can do it, but yeah, no.
Yeah, your mind says yeah, and the body says chale.
Exactly what you said. Remember, I was like, I got it. Okay, maybe I don't.
Homeboy forgot to put the pump though on his
Yeah,
Nikes.
yeah, the Nikes on.
Yeah, back in the days, the 90s.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to find out. I kind of wanted to start off, where you started out at. Where were you born at? We want to get the background.
All right. Well, I was born in White Memorial, and over there in Boyle Heights, right there. I was raised right there in the community where State Park's at. The Gang State Park, right there in Boyle Heights, off of Sheridan. Went to school, junior high over there. Went to Bridge Street Elementary, and then as a kid, it was pretty cool because where I was raised at, we used to have a park right across the street. And growing up as a young chavalillo, you know how it is. You hang out with the community and everything. I guess I was able to make some good friends, and we just grew up right there, man. Everything back then was a lot of. I wasn't really known to the custom of gangs and stuff like that. Even though I knew my my uncles and everything else. I didn't find out after my father was a gang member. So everything wasn't exploited back then. As a kid, you really they're not gonna tell you, oh, hey, you come from a gang background.
Yeah, long life gang.
Yeah, long life, not knowing.
Out there playing
just
ball,
out there, just minding my own business like a regular kid. And I didn't have a father. That's one thing I realized as soon as I started getting a little older, like 5, 6, 7 years old, I started noticing that, my uncle, I had my grandfather, and my uncle would tell his dad, my grandpa dad, So as you get older, you start realizing, start getting aware of the things around. Like, hey, well, where's my dad at?
Yeah.
You know, but still, I was avoiding it. You know, I wasn't really trying to pump the issue up. You know, stir up some situations or problems. I just knew maybe my dad wasn't around. You know, because a lot of kids, he was in jail, a drug addict, or a deadbeat dad. So I just wasn't really aware of the situation until I finally hit a certain age. I think it was like 10 or 11 years old.
Like, I'm
yeah, you know. So he started noticing, like, hey, where's my dad at? And then I found out, like, hey, you know, your dad passed away. And then a little later after that, then I found out to what? It was gang violence. And I was just like, man. So my dad was actually from a gang called Evergreen in Boyle Heights. You know, everybody knows. A lot of people know. If you know,
for years.
Yeah, if you've been around with the Chicano culture, you lived in Boyle Heights, East LA. You know, Evergreen's a pretty known neighborhood. My dad was taken at 19 years old.
Damn.
You know, my dad was taken at 19 years old. I was only 6 months, and you know, I became fatherless. You know, as you say, I was a bastard. You know, so you know, but during that time, at a young age, I thank God for grandparents. You know, I mean, I had my grandmother, my grandfather.
They were got to be tough, man.
It was, but you know, I mean, sometimes, you know, my grandparents gave me a lot of love. You know what I mean? A lot of support. So, you know, it was able to deceive the deception of really what was taking place until I got older. Then I started finding out. My mom, she wasn't, you know, my mom was more like my aunt because we didn't have that relationship. What I saw was that my mom was still struggling. She was hurting. She was going through a lot of emotions because my dad died right away, you know. I was barely born. My mom was, my dad were barely, not even 2 years married. They were a young couple. And, you know, I noticed my mom that, you know, she used to party a lot. She used to not be there a lot. So I started knowing that I had a lot of resistance towards her, you know, that animosity, a lot of anger. So I didn't really have that relationship with my mom at a young age. So, but growing up in Boyle Heights, like I said, it was cool, man. They had the carnivals across the street. You had all the friends, man. You guys know if you grew up in the hood, you know, we used to make the slides. We used to put the carpets on concrete. You know, concrete.
We had so much fun with nothing.
Yeah, you make something out of nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing out of something. Yeah, you know what I mean? We had none of that. So we used to go to the local, like you said, stores. I took my mom's welfare check one time.
the food stamps?
You know, the welfare. I cashed it, dog. I had a bunch of homies. Yeah, because my mom and them, they, you know the local liquor stores, dog. So they'll sell you cigarettes. They'll sell you.
It's for my dad.
That was back in the days, right? So they send me my one day. I just said, oh, this little paper has money, dog. You know what I mean? Went over there, straight cashed it. Had all the little homies around for the neighborhood, dog. We were there playing the video games. You know, we were rocking until somebody pulled my ear, dog. And you know what I mean? And the next year, they took me to the hall, and I got one of the I guess I got jumped into the family. They say, you know what I mean? So my grandma, you know what I mean, did me dirty. My mom did me dirty because I was messing with my mom's drug money, dog. You know what I mean?
Shit.
So you know, unfortunately, like I said, my mom was involved in drugs. You know, she was out there, she was hurting, but I didn't know that at that time. You know.
But now you know that was like her.
Yeah, it took me a long time. You know what I mean, to realize that, bro. It took me a long time. But so I went over there, like I said, grew up in Boyle Heights. It was cool, man. You know, had a great time, and until my grandparents got divorced, and then my mom got married, and that's another story, you know. Yeah. So that's where I grew up at.
All right. Well, I mean, I did want to hear, you know, like the challenges that you face and stuff, but you know, you pretty much brought up, you know, even not having a dad growing up, and you getting into
plays a big factor.
It does play a big factor because you don't have that
supervision.
You don't have that
guidance.
And that role
a man,
model.
you know, a male role model to show you how to be a man,
right?
You know, how to raise you, you know.
Because a woman could show you a lot, but she can't show you how to be a man, you know.
Right. It's important, man, to have a father figure in there, and even as a mother figure too. So a lot of people don't realize that both parts of the party, they make a big impact in somebody's child. And even there's a lot of time I have stories too, man, where people they have their mother and their father, and they're even successful, and sometimes that doesn't even work, right? Because mom and dad are too busy working.
Exactly.
You know, so you're looking for a relationship not only inside the home, because you'll get the relationship somewhere else, and especially in LA, that's what's kind of the hard place, because you know, there's one of the toppest worlds for gangs. You know what I mean? So you know, you're searching and looking for, you know, love in all the wrong places, camaraderie. You know,
like you said, an identity.
Identity, man. Identity, and you'll find it over here. So
like you said, the hood will give you an identity.
The hood will give you identity, man. You know, straight out.
Exactly. Well, so how long did it take you to? I know you're doing very well now these days, how long would it say, it took you to get to that point where you're saying, what I'm doing now
It's
is
worth
not
more.
working.
Yeah.
It's not working, and I really want to make a change.
Right.
What did you mentally go through in order to get you to flip that?
Right. Well, going a little back, reverting back to, how my youth was, right? So I talked about, a little bit about the childhood, I found out that I didn't have a father. I found out my mom was she was neglecting me, but not on purposely, but I didn't know it back then.
Exactly.
I thought she was doing it on purpose.
Hated her. You
I
resented
pretty
her.
much hated her, resented her, and, I was looking for identity. Unfortunately, the people that were supervising me and taking care of me, my grandparents, they ended up getting a divorce after 50-something years. So, that kind of, when I found out that what happened, I kind of how does this, then, the world starts being a reality. You know what I mean? It's like, man, the more you get older, the more you start seeing things, and, whether it's good or bad, how are you going to adjust to the situations? So at that time, with a lot of there was no supervision, I found out getting accustomed to what I was seeing. So my uncle was in the neighborhood. He was from State Street. He was selling PCP, and I thought, okay, I was still young. I was only like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. So I kind of figured, man, is this going to be my destiny? My dad was a gang member. He died from a gang. My uncle's beat up. My mom's on drugs. You know what I mean? So I was just like, man,
my world.
It's my world that I guess it's gonna, I'm gonna follow the same suit. Yeah. So, we end up, my grandparents, from getting a divorce, they end up selling the house. I ended over here in Whittier. To make a long story short, and then I got jumped into the neighborhood, right? And then after I went through the whole transition, through the whole neighborhood, there was some good times and there was some bad times. Whoever says that, being in a gang, if you're on the streets every day the way you're supposed to be a soldier, there's not a lot of good times. Yeah, exactly. There's more bad times than good times. It's about survival. So like we were talking about earlier, I had to learn how to be a man by myself.
That's hard.
So it is hard because a lot of your older homies are like your father figures. They're your role models, and if they're over here stabbing, robbing, shooting somebody, you're like, okay, so doing drugs and all that, then hey, that's me. That's gonna be me. So some of the stuff I accepted, and some of the stuff I didn't because I was not ready to put a needle in my vein. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So you have to you make choices, man. E40 says it all the time. Everybody got choices, right? So there were some choices that I made, and some were good and some were bad, but. Trying to narrow it down, what happened, what reality, what made the world real to me is when my cousin passed away, man. My cousin, I was an influence I was a role model to my cousins because their dad he was busted all the time. And we grew up right there in State Street, Boyle Heights. They were just younger than me. So now I'm an older teenager, they're younger teenagers. And then after, they did the whole transition, got involved in the same neighborhood. And so many years later, my cousin got killed, man. And then that's when,
hit home hard.
Man, death is something that's just like a reality, man.
Especially that's an immediate family
because
member.
My cousin was like my brother, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then I kind of felt the responsibility, the accountability. He's a real role model. So I feel like you start going those transitions, like, man, it should have been me. I'm the one that don't have nothing. I'm the black sheep. I'm this and I'm that. But you never know. When you live by the sword, you die by the sword, man. You know what I mean?
You died in a different way.
And I died in a different way, man. Exactly. Could have said it any better. And then that's when I started remembering one thing that I missed a little bit was that, my mom, like I said, she was in drugs and everything, how we were going back. But my mom ended up getting saved and started going to church. She became a Christian. You know what I mean? She changed her whole personality. She was able to find God. And then after, I remember she was taking us. When we were little kids, we used to go to church. And this is a vital important, it's really important that I say this because, how it says the seed was planted. There was I started learning about God, the good things, the forgiveness, to forgive and all that. But I didn't want to forgive, you know what I mean? You got to honor your father and your mother. Things were just started being implanted. But that time I was so rebellious because my mom got married, and I was the black sheep because my mom remarried, and I had other siblings. But I was not from my father or my stepdad.
Exactly.
Those
so
were
you felt left out.
I felt left out. How many of us feel left out? The black sheep.
Step brother.
Exactly. The half brother. The half brother.
The heart was still hard.
The heart was still hard, And then this guy's trying to come in and trying to give me rules and this and that instead of him. See, one thing that I could say, if you're a step parent, be their friend first. Don't try to come in demand and stuff like that because it's not going to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to show a little bit of love and respect, because the little kid is taking in that you're intruding his space.
Yeah, he's already broken.
He's already broken, and especially with you don't know what conditions situation he's been through. So that's what happened, and that's why I said 13, 14 years old, my mom then moved them north, and I didn't want them, so I ended up staying right here in Whittier. But that's just going a little bit backer. But once my cousin got killed, you know what I mean, I couldn't bring my cousin back. Reality had set, and man, I was hurting, man. I was really, really hurting. So, you know, I had my other cousin, you know, he was young, but he was already having kids at a young age. And I told him, you know, just stay away, man, you know, raise your family, you know, I'll be out here, and I'll do it till the wheels fall off. So, you know what I mean, I went through so much right here in the neighborhood, you know, the wheels never fell off. Like I just end up running out of gas.
You know what they do? They grow around the waist. Yeah, the wheel comes here. Right?
Young Beavz, a comedian right here, another comedian right here, you know.
But I'm glad you made it through.
Yeah,
man.
you know what happened was I just got tired, bro.
Yeah.
I just really and everything. You know how it goes. Homies start getting busted.
Exactly.
People start dying.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? In the end, there's nobody around.
And the
so
good thing is you're still at a good age to enjoy your life.
So what happened was that my grandma was still alive, right? And then after I went back, and I was just fulfilled. I just felt like I had chains on me, bro. Like, you know, I was just dragging them. Sometimes life could be heavy. You know what I mean?
Chip on your shoulder,
Sometimes life could be real heavy, man. And I went to old grandma. You know what I mean? I was like, Abuelita, this is the way I feel right now.
She was the rock, though. She was the glue of the family. Right?
She was, man, to me. You know what I mean? To a lot of other of us, you know, because a lot of people were mad because of my grandfather, what was happening. But she was there, but, you know, some people were mad at my grandmother. You know, it goes both ways because there's daddy's girl, and there's, you know what I mean? There's mamas, you know, so.
Everybody's not going to be happy, you know?
Not everybody's going to be happy, man. But to me, she was the rock, you know? So I went back with her, you know, it's crazy, man, because, you know, the more you get older, the more wisdom you gain, you know, the more you could tell the younger homies, or not even homies, just anybody in general, man. Like, you know, you see somebody hurting or struggling, and even older people too, you know, because they want to look like, how did he make it? How did he's doing? Because he has all these tattoos and he has this, but he's doing pretty good, you know, and you'll be surprised what kind of individual that person is, and you can relate to that person, man, you know.
You guys come from the same struggles.
You have the same struggles, and we're over here, you know, killing each other, hurting each other, fighting each other, and, you know, especially if we're the same race and the same color, so it started being confusing to me. Instead of, like, I didn't go to prison, bro, right? But I went to county a lot of times, man, and then when I started seeing, like, my enemies, my friends, I was confused, you know what I mean? When I went to 9500 back in the 90s, everybody knows 9500 in the top. They're like, hey, your card's over there. I'm like, all right, so yeah, your homies from here, and like, man, we're enemies. Not today, dog. You know what I mean? So, and I was like, what? And then your enemies are shooting you tienda, you know, they're taking care of you, and I was like, this is it don't make no sense. So the more older you get, things start processing, and it makes sense right here. You know what I mean? It makes sense right here, but sometimes this is deception, bro. You know what I mean? Because what we see,
it's a facade.
Yeah, it's a facade. What we see, it's just like it could be a lie, bro. You know? But if you know something, and you have quota, because like I said, that's when I learned. You know what I mean? I had a rival that was in there, man, and he was giving me everything I needed. At the end, I didn't have nothing, bro. You know, I had nothing. Cool. He was shooting me this, shooting me, and like, man. So that's when I started learning, like, man, you know, this is, you know, there's more to life than just this. So, but before I could be an influence to anybody else, I gotta help myself first.
Exactly.
I had to help myself first. So my grandma told me, I told her where I was at. And then after I made that transition, you know, she goes, whether you're gonna go and you're gonna serve God or learn more about God and forgive your mom, or you're gonna stay in your rut.
That's one of the steps to go up.
Yeah, you know, because forgiveness comes in. A lot of people, they say, hey,
back, that grudge,
man, and the people that have a hard time doing it.
There's a lot of people that say, you know what, when somebody does me wrong, that's it, man.
But I've heard, honestly, that it takes more effort and energy to hold the grudge than just forgive them. I don't know if
it'll create disease.
It will create disease. High blood pressure.
Are you
cancer.
Serious?
Oh yeah. You can stress out, and hey, there's more heart attacks happening on a Monday morning between like 7 and 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And that's because most people do not like their job, and they're stressing out. It's killing their body,
angry,
it's killing their immune system, having a heart attack. The mind will tell the body what
worriness.
to do. You know? So
that's crazy.
You know, it's just crazy, man. You know, like I said, so. You know, like I said, I had to forgive myself first. You know what I mean? Before I could go and help anybody else. And my grandma, like I said, thank God for older people. And she had a lot of wisdom before she passed. And since that point, I've been running with it, man. You know, I went with my mom and I told her for forgiveness. You know what I mean? And I don't think she even was accepting it. And she's been saved and worshiping God all these years too. But one week, you know, God is just one part. But you know how we deal with things is another part. You know, so I don't think my mom, you know what I mean, her me telling her, hey, I forgive you. I don't think she was ready to like, wow, you know,
And
like
you get it because they say you have to forgive everyone. Even it says in the Bible that you have to forgive everyone, even to kneel down to pray.
Yeah.
You know,
To be worthy.
and to go up. But
Yeah.
that everyone includes yourself.
exactly.
So you can't hold grudges against yourself, and everybody's gonna have regrets. You know, it's just life. But you have to forgive yourself as well as everybody else. Too,
Right, exactly. So when as you mentioned, as you're saying, when I forgave my mom, I felt like a big chip came out of my chest, man. And like you said, even though my mom was kind of receptive, like, wow, like you're the one that because my mom never did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You know, what I started
She's
learning
just caught up in her own world, huh?
because of what I did. What happened was I put my shoes in her place, and I was just like, man, imagine if I had a little kid and I had to raise him up.
Single mom, on
Your
welfare.
dad got killed by gang violence. You know what was that? So I felt that not only was I hurting,
Repeating the pattern.
she was hurting, man.
Yeah.
And when I seen that happening, I was like, I felt so like remorse for man, mom, like wow, you know what I mean? Now I know what you went through. You didn't do it in purpose.
Yeah.
You did it because you were hurt. My dad passed away. You saw me as
coping with it.
she was just coping with it, and she turned to drugs. You know how we
all
do.
We want that quick
and
numb,
it's not
something to
just
get numb.
the Mexican culture. It goes to everything.
culture.
Blacks, whites, Asians. You know what I mean? If they ain't drug addicts, they're alcoholics, bro.
Alcoholics,
you know what I mean?
or they could be workaholics.
Workaholics. They're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And now Biden's helping us out by giving everybody crack pipes.
That's another subject, you know. I mean, but they weren't giving crack packs back then, you know. I could have used the free
But
one.
look at the areas they're doing it in. They ain't gonna be giving out crack pipes in Beverly Hills. They're
Exactly.
giving crack pipes in East LA.
Exactly.
Montebello,
It just
downtown
yeah,
LA. I want to see
downtown
these
LA.
vatos go to like fucking Melrose and give out crack pipes.
But
They ain't
instead
doing
of
that
giving a crack pipe, man, give somebody a Bible, bro.
Yeah,
you
give
know what
them-
I mean?
yeah.
Give them a Bible.
You know what?
or-
It's my belief they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
do.
They're destroying.
shit. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
poisoning us on purpose.
They're poisoning us on
We
purpose.
don't know
I
no
felt
better.
like I felt like I was part of that
whole era,
victimization,
the
you know,
culture, yeah.
because my mom, like you said, was on welfare. You know, I grew up. There was nobody helping us.
No,
and-
that's embarrassing because my parents were on like help, and you're like, at first you think it's funny, but then you're like, God damn, none of my other friends are on welfare.
Yeah,
If they are,
exactly,
When you
bro.
get out of the zone, you're like, God damn.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Dude, it's crazy, you know. That's another story, dog,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It is. So, but so after that, I made peace with my mom. Even I made peace with my stepdad too. We were cool, and then things started happening to me. I met my wife, in church, and then after we got married, and then I've been married for 17 years, and I have one daughter. And let me say this, man. You're gonna have, even with Christianity, you're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs, man. Sometimes you might, you might hit the pipe again. You might drink a beer, but what it says, I know in the Bible, is like, hey, don't punish yourself, man. Move forward, get up the next day and move forward, because in the Bible says that God's married to the backslider. You know what I mean? So if you're in a backsliding situation, man, don't condemn yourself, because I grew up with condemnation all my life. You're the odd one. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna hustle. You ain't gonna do this. And fighting every day, man. Every day is a fight, man. Even when you're doing good, and if you're not really fighting, then fight for somebody else, dude. You know what I mean? If you ain't gonna fight for your primo, your nephew, your cousin, your daughter, your son. Fight for them.
Your job.
And if you're feeling like, you know what, I'm not gonna go to church. I'm not gonna pray because I've been doing some bad shit. Whatever. You know what?
At home.
That's the devil talking to you. That's the devil trying to get in the way, saying you're not worthy.
Yeah,
Don't even worry. Don't even do that. Or you got other people saying, oh, you're a
hypocrite.
These are people that are worse.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like I said, it's just, especially now in the days, man, we're living, man. You can see a lot of things that are changing. And we always, when we were growing up, people say that when we were growing up, remember our aunts and our uncles, our grandmas, man, back in the days, times are just changing. Times are just changing.
Life evolves.
Time is just changing right now. Seriously, man, it's getting crazy. So, but after that, like I said, I was able to, my wife, I met my wife. My wife's in prison too. She's done more time than me. You know what I mean? So,
she's in prison?
No, she's been in prison. My wife done 10 years, and
she's out.
we're out, and
So she's the one cooking the spreads.
She cooks one spread, I cook the other spread.
That's cool though. But you guys found love. Love for everybody.
But saludos to the sheriffs. you know. But no, like I said, man, we still have our struggles. We still have, you know what I mean, dealing with somebody like that, because she has a testimony too. And it's what you do and the impact you have in people, the influence, man, you know.
Exactly.
And you know, that's how, you know, I mean, we were able to open doors. You know, we started up a little small business that we're still working on. Well, we were able to go in, we were able to go into the jail systems in San Diego and North County, dealing with, you know, people. You know, they're trying to come out and they're trying to be
transitional homeless.
They're trying, exactly. That's what we're looking. But you know, it was you know, you get paid for stuff like that, process. Man. You know, you get paid for that.
You're helping somebody.
You're helping somebody. A lot of
these guys don't got nowhere to go.
Yeah, but one thing too.
So, like a
what happened was that it was a 401c from another program.
So it's a public service.
Public service. Yeah. So you know, we were able to
get involved with the right people.
Yeah, get involved with the right people, and then after we were able to go in there to the North County Jail in Vista, and you know, we're getting paid for it with so many hours. We work 4 hours, $25 an hour.
That's good.
But then after we met some other people, and then after they found out that my wife was going for social services because she's been in prison, and now she wants to get back. You know, that's another prime example. So you know, no matter what you're doing or struggling, man, you know, you could always change your aspect of life. You know, my wife she's a living testimony of it, and she wants to help the community. She wants to help the women. She's going for counseling. That's what she's going for.
And it's not counselors.
Yeah,
and counselors that been there in the hood, been in prison.
Well, who can you relate better to? I'm not mocking the people that have never been to jail, but they work hard. You know, they do. I give them credit.
We tip our hat.
Yeah, I tip my hat to them.
But you feel more comfortable with
more relation, you know, because we build relationships, and relationships are important to us, you know.
Exactly.
You know,
you bring that wall down. I believe that. I agree with that.
Yeah, you know, we bring our walls down, you know, and a lot of people, when they look at my wife and they see her and she tells her testimony, they're like, nah, not you, eh? Like, you know, it's like sometimes people are like, nah, Beavz not a comedian. Yeah, well, he is, eh? You know what I mean? So, you know, it's crazy, man. You know, so one thing I do want to emphasize, and I do say, you know, a lot of people have their point of views on education, right? So, you know, to me, education is everything. And I ain't saying you have to go to a 4-year, 10-year degree college and stuff like that. Educate yourself some way, because we're always learning, wanting to learn, right?
That's key.
That's key point.
If there's something that you want to do in life, take classes. Take classes like Kiyosaki says, you know, you don't got to go do all the, you know, 8, 10, you know, people stay in school all their lives.
Yeah, they do.
And they end up owing all this back. But the best thing to do is just take classes on what's going to help you get what you want to be. Instead of
if you want to be an electrician, be an electrician. You know what I mean? You don't got to go to a university to go to a trade tech. You want to be a truck driver, go to trucking school.
Exactly.
You know,
so if there's a message that you know, for people out there, because, you know, there's so many people, you know, that's just life. You know, people struggle. They go through struggles. Sometimes people feel like, you know, that's it. You know, I don't know how I'm going to get through this one.
Right.
You know, every day there may be a bomb dropped on somebody, you know.
Right.
And there was a bomb dropped on me not too long ago. And you know, it's like, you know, as much as I try to, you know, when I talk, I try to keep a positive outlook, and I try to let that, you know, come out when I talk. Sometimes it's negative, you know, that's just life. But I had to tell myself that, you know, hey, you know what? I geared my mind up. I prepared my mind with a lot of positive programming, and that way, because I knew that this time will come.
Yeah.
And times are going to come where you need to be mentally prepared for it, because if you're not, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna run right through you.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna, you know, you cannot get in the fetal position and say, you know what, ya estuvo, you know.
Yeah.
Because the little things drop you, the big thing's gonna run you over.
Yeah, and big things will come, and you mentally you have to be prepared, man.
Exactly.
It's funny how you say that, because, you know, like emphasizing, like, me and my wife, when we went to the first time to the detention center, right, the county, and we were used to staying in there. It
feels weird how you
know,
like,
but to know that we're coming out, we're like, what the heck?
Like, not only, but you're going in and leaving a message.
It was an experience, you know. It was an experience, man, and I was just like, and that's the thing, like we can do it, man. They're looking for people like me and you. If you don't have a record, like, you know, within 10 years, you know, you'll be surprised. There's so many programs, but people don't know about them. You know, you could be a chef in there, you could be a comedian media in there. You could be how people do art in there. But one thing that's implemented is that, you know what I mean, there's so many jobs that are out there, bro. But I hate to say it, people need the paper, bro. Like I could be a counselor. We all could be counselors. You've been through it. You've been through it. I've been through it. You just need that certificate, bro. And why I say education, because there's been some controversy. I hear people on their shows that say, oh, education ain't everything. Well, how did you learn how to do this? And how did you learn how to do that?
It was life education.
Somebody taught you something,
life,
you know? And yes, I believe in self-taught. You could self-taught, but it's a lot easier now because you're still learning from the computer.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't
Online
mean that,
classes,
well, he didn't teach me, well, what did? You know? You know?
Some people just have an attitude, you know?
They just, you know,
just have a negative attitude, like, you know, that's not, you know.
Yeah, education and
money ain't
everything.
everything.
I'm an
Say that too,
entrepreneur.
you know?
I did this. I did that. Okay, that's cool.
But that's one out of what? Like
but what's
20?
one out of? What is the numbers on that?
Yeah.
And what tripped me out too is going back to, if you don't mind me saying this, that I was with West Carson TV, and we did an interview right there at Homeboy Industries, like 5-6 months ago, right? And we were talking to the homie Miguel, right? You know, big shout out to Miguel, Homeboy Industries. And you go check out West Carson TV, and where he did the interview. And I was telling him, because you know, he was talking about when he was busted. So I was telling him, hey, homie, so what do you think about education? He goes, oh man, education is vital. It's important, man. You know. And I was like, why? He goes, well, first they taught me here, you know, in this Homeboy Industry they taught me how to buy a house, how to save my money, how to do this. So they educated him. Okay, so he even got more into detail, saying when he was in prison, right? That he got a huila one day, right? And the huila said, you know, he told his bunkie, hey, homie, I don't know how to read, so, you know, I don't know how to read. I wasn't educated, so can you read this huila for me? And then when the bunkie opened the paperwork, you know, it said for his eyes only. You already know, dog, what that means, homie.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna hook him up.
You gotta hook up the homie,
bunkie.
but since he didn't know how to read,
He already knew. He got a straight heads
the
up.
bunkie got a straight heads up because it was lack of education, bro.
Exactly.
You know. So if he's going off and emphasize, you know, education doesn't just hit the prison cell, bro.
Yeah,
it goes all the way to the top, bro. And if we can't be a mentor and a teacher to our kids and to everybody else, to our brothers and sisters, our people on the streets, then what kind of education you're bringing? It's just you're bringing your education.
Hey man, if you can't read English, how the hell are you gonna learn Nahuatl?
Exactly.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly.
Some shit in there.
Something. Yeah. So. You know, those are the little things that accumulated right now. My life ain't perfect, you know, but you know how they say, I may not be where I used to be, but thank God I ain't where I used to be, bro. Exactly. I may not be where I want to be, but thank God I ain't where I used to be, bro. So, you know, it's been a journey. I've been blessed, man. I had my ups and downs in the spirituality world and the natural world, and overall, I'm pretty blessed, man. When you live in this way, you're just grateful for the little, man. You know, waking up, breakfast. Man. You be more humble, and I think that's why. You get a little bit older, you know, you start realizing certain things, man, the long ways and the pathways. I start thinking, I still don't forget certain things, like my cousin's in my heart every day, but that's what makes me build, like, hey, keep moving forward, man, you know. And then when you see young kids, I think about my cousin, like, man, you know, it's not about the gangs, man, it's about, hey, homie, come here, let me guide you, dog. Like, you know what I mean? I'm being very transparent because I could be evil, bro, you know. I could go take in my neighborhood right now, get jumped in, and then, you know, leave you out there and you're dead the next day, bro. But I'd rather save a soul, educate you, because there's a lot of us that don't have fathers, man. You know, our dads are not around. Our dads are busted for whatever. Our dad's working every day. You know, we just look at and you know, all these programs that are out there. You got to take advantage. I remember the Boys and Girls Club and all that good stuff. There's a lot of stuff to get influenced. But however, these messages and this channel and could help out, man. Whoever's looking, like I said, man. You know, don't give up on yourself, man. You know, you know, you're gonna go through obstacles. It's just life. And I didn't have a father, and that was like the major tragedy in my life, upbringing from the beginning. I didn't lose my dad at 21 or 40. I lost him from the gate, man, you know. So I've been fighting challenges since then, and to tell you the truth, sometimes the journey, as you go your ups and downs, it's fun sometimes too, man, you know, because I was able to experience not only the jail, like I said, we have a little business that's in transition, and I was able to travel Europe, you know. I've been able to go certain places, so there's more to the world than just your 2 blocks. Exactly. 2 blocks. So there's more to the world. There's more than the world, man. And if you would just, you know, just gas and experience, man. Like I said, you know, get out of the LA City, man. Go to Montana, take a drive, man. And that's how people they lose yourself in the right way, bro. Don't lose yourself in the wrong way, man. Exactly. You know, because drugs and all this stuff is gonna be everywhere you go. But you might go somewhere and it might take the aspect away and say, wow, man, you know, make you feel It's small, bro.
And just because you've been through some things in life, you know, it's not, you know, one thing I'll tell you, you know, is that, you know, I'm not saying just get over it, so what, move on, because sometimes there's some shit that's gonna stay with you.
Yeah.
There's some things that's gonna stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have that going on. But you know what? You do not let that cripple you though, you know. Sometimes it can be crippling because it's you know, once something's in your mind and it's not, you can't break free from it.
Because your mind is your motor.
Yeah.
You got a fucking blown gasket in there, that's it. You gotta fix that one.
But like you said, you gotta want to fix it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, you have. That's number one. You have to want to.
You gotta want to.
And moms and dads, you know, however you're raising your children, one of the best things that you can do is to instill in them not to give up.
Yeah.
Don't get the littlest things. When you see them, when you're watching them, you know, getting frustrated with something and just drop it. Don't walk away. Don't just say, fuck it, you know. Don't give them that attitude, you know.
Yeah.
You want to back them up with you know what? Don't give up,
Show
man.
them how to do it.
Don't give up. You just keep on going. It ain't over till you win. You know? That's how you want to.
Yeah. I'm real honest with my kids. Like I try to show them everything I can, and if I don't know it, I think of the same way that when I'm in prison. You know, if I look at it like if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna get you the answer, or I'm gonna find somebody who has the answer. I think that's the best way to do it.
That's a winning mentality.
Yeah, it is. And sometimes, like, you know, you're not gonna get it even from your parents and all that. You know, one thing I revert to, like the Bible says, sometimes we gotta encourage ourselves, man. You know, we gotta be our self-motivator. Whatever obstacle or situation you're going through, whether it's drugs, suicide, man, give yourself a chance, man. You know, don't take that easy route out. You know what I mean? It's better to go through the hard route because you'll learn something from that. Trust me. And it ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be pretty. You know, the things that I had to learn, it wasn't pretty, man, because I wanted to give up. I was suicidal. I had everything, man. I had everything. I wanted to kill myself. You know what I mean? I was schizophrenic. I started hearing things, and the more I thought drugs was the answer, it wasn't the answer. I thought women were the answer, it wasn't the answer. I thought love machine was the answer, it wasn't. It was the answer. You know, so you know, and sometimes even God wasn't the answer. You know, I had to look at myself and say, man, if everybody's gonna change, I have to change myself. And that's when you hurdle that hump and you're one of those. Trust me, man, you'll be able to bless somebody else, and you're gonna tell them there ain't no excuses, man. You know, they're gonna know that you laid that blueprint out, and sometimes blueprints you can follow them, man.
Exactly.
And you have to get strong. You know, if you're going through something, you want to get over that. You know, just you know, you have to get strong and tell yourself, you know, I can do this. You have to talk to yourself too, man, because sometimes that positive that you're gonna give yourself is the only good shit you're gonna hear.
Yeah, sometimes you're the only one that's gonna give yourself a pat in the back.
Yeah, you have to encourage yourself, and that's why, like, you know, when you guys said, hey, you know, because I've been on a couple interviews, you know, big shout out to all the ones that gave me a chance, but it was right here, you know, we're relating, we're bonding.
Exactly.
I don't know. Young Beavz personally, I'm learning Tejas, you know, as long as we go.
Better acquainted.
Yeah, you know, so now I feel like, hey, man, we have relationships, and you know, back then, like I said, you know, probably we'd be enemies, or look at that vato, he has tattoos, or this and that. It's not about the machismo, man. It's about, hey, how you doing, homie? How can I help you, man? You know, $2. And how would I say? Acknowledgement goes a long way, man. You know, if you acknowledge. A simple hello. You see somebody struggling on the street, don't judge them, man, because you don't know what path they're going through. You don't know what they went through. It's easy to judge on the outside, but on the inside, are you willing to go up and talk to that individual, man? Even when, like, you know, when somebody's mad dogging you and all that, like, I don't play that no more. I'll turn my other cheek, man, you know. But it's crazy when they come up to you and they tell, hey, homie, how you doing? They're looking at you like, what? Like, you know, like,
it throws them off.
You gotta throw somebody.
That's what I do. Whenever I go to a crowd, I'm like, hey, how you guys doing? All right, fellas. What the fuck? It's hard to be mad at somebody or not like somebody.
Generosity goes a long way, man, you know, but people say it doesn't, you know. They say,
I remember when I got out of YA, I was like kind of twisted minded, you know, from Basel. And
like, I'm not gonna talk to nobody.
No. And dudes, hey, if I would see somebody looking at me, like staring at me,
I'm going out.
Either I would like start scratching my nuts, or I would start to like break dance and shit, you know. And,
sizing them up,
you know, and like people who don't know what to think, you know, they just think this dude's a fucking idiot. Like, he's a nut.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like that.
I used to throw him off like that. You know?
Yeah, I feel like the other time I used to bad dog, like, look at this idiot.
Yeah, I don't even trip on that. I get dogged at all the time. I mean, if they don't touch me, I don't give a shit, dog. I look at it like, you know what, like,
But it's hard to say. People still are acting like that these days and stuff like that.
I feel like it's always gonna happen
Yeah.
because there's always dysfunction. There's still broken homes.
Yeah.
All that
Always,
stuff, and
man.
those issues are not getting addressed.
Yeah. So hopefully, what your channel's doing continues that acknowledgement and that that education and relationship. That's what we're doing, and that's why I say it's a big honor for you guys having me on. So I was able to tell my story, and I'm just trying to relate, man.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us
thank
your
you guys,
time,
man. No,
honestly.
thank you guys. Man. I appreciate it. Guys,
Give a big thanks to Big D, and we had a really good message, man. He's been through it, and he got over it, and he's doing some big things today. And we just want to, be bringing messages to our viewers like that. Concentrate on positivity.
Yeah.
And even though people go through some hard things in life, that's a lot of people.
Part of life.
Part of life, and yeah. So,
Yeah, I agree. I really enjoyed the episode with Big D. Thank you for being here. And I love the message, how pretty much saying like, just because you came from a bad beginning doesn't mean that it's gonna be a bad ending.
Right.
We could rewrite that story and fix it and just pretty much get a better product at the end,
Yeah.
And I think that product is us,
That's right.
We're evolving as people, whether we become good people, bad people, It's all up to us. The choice is up to you. And if you're having a hard time at home right now, hopefully that message touched you, And stay tuned for more content. We're gonna have just not even better, just more content to bring you and more people, that you guys can relate to.
Right. So with that, I just want to say, our
Thank you for your
viewers,
time.
our viewers,
We
love you
appreciate
more
you
than
guys.
beans and rice. I said you had a shout outs.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everybody. Thank you to
Yeah.
all people that tune in and support us. And I want to say thank you to my wife for bringing me and my kid. And we're going to tell her happy birthday. And I just want to say, I just want to thank you for all the people that support us.
That's right,
CYA Entertainment.
We're not gonna make everybody happy.
Exactly.
But, that's cool because we ain't doing nothing right if everybody's happy. So,
Exactly.
We ain't being ourselves then.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
all right.
I agree.
Beavz, gracias,
Thank you
man.
for your time.
Another
You
good
guys
one.
have a good one.
Another good one.
All right. Later.